Okay, so now that we've kind of talked about mean, median, and mode, we have another item we need to introduce. And that is called an outlier. So an outlier is a data entry that is far removed from the other entries in the data set. Okay. Now, we're going to put everything together that we've covered so far in this section with this one example. Let me go here. We're going to grab it. Okay, the table below shows the sample ages of students in a class. Find the mean, median, and mode of the ages. Are there any outliers? Which measure of central tendency describes a typical entry of this data set? So we're going to kind of do some things all at once. But as I'm looking at this data set, I notice that they've already arranged it for me from least to greatest. But nonetheless, let's just kind of jump in and see. It says find the mean. So as I'm looking at my problem, I'm trying to figure out which formula do I need. Do I need the mu formula or do I need the x bar? Well, it says the sample ages. Sample ages tells us I need x bar for my mean. So mean, I need to do x bar equals the sum of the x's divided by n. So 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus dot 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 all the way until I get to the 65 divided by however many I have in here. So let's see, there are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20 students. Okay, so if I add all of these up, 20, I'm going to do it kind of a shortcut, 20 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 21 times, because I don't want to sit there and type all these 21s, or 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 22 times 3, plus 23 times 4, plus 24, plus 24, plus 65. 475, and I'm going to divide that by 20, 23.75. Okay, so I have 475 divided by 20. That gets me 23.75. Remember, we round to one more decimal point than we're given. So we're given no decimal points, we round one more. So that's going to be about 23.8 years old. That's our average age. Okay. Now, I want to see, is this a typical data entry? Well, if I think of where 23.8 lies, 23.8 is like right here. So is it the minimum or the maximum? No. So I'm going to make a note, not min or max. Which means this is a typical entry. Now, you may be thinking, wait a minute, but I don't see a 23.8 as an entry. That's okay. It doesn't have to be an entry, but can it describe a typical entry? So, I guess I should say this can describe a typical entry. Not this is. This can describe. This can describe a typical entry. We're okay there. Okay, so there's the mean. Now let's get the median. Now what's nice here is, well, I guess it's not nice because they give us 20 data entries. So I'm going to count 10 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's circle these. Then if I count from the low end, that 22 should be my 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So that means my median has to be in between 21 and 22. 21 plus 22 divided by 2 is going to give you 21.5 years old. There's our median. Now, is this the min or the max? No. So we could say can describe a typical entry. We're good there. Now let's get the mode. It says mean, median, and mode. Okay, so which one appears most often? Well, 20, there's 6 people that are 20, 4 that are 21, 3 that are 22, 4 that are 23. The 20s are going to be the most often. So 20 years old. That's our mode. Now, can it be a typical data entry? So this cannot describe because 20 is the minimum. A typical entry. 20 is the min. So the mode cannot describe a typical data entry. Now, let's look at outliers. Are there any outliers? Well, yeah, the 65. So 65 years old is an outlier. We're going to find out in section 2.5 exactly how to calculate outliers. We're not there yet. So for now, we're just going to we're going to eyeball it and say, yeah, 65. The rest are between 20 and 24, and then boom, 65. So that one is an outlier. Okay, so now, which one of these would you say would best describe a typical data entry? the mean that's at the 23.8 where I marked, the median, which is the 21.5, or the mode. This is the median. This is the mean right here. Which one is kind of more typical than the others? What would you say? We don't want to use mode. Mode is like the minimum. I'm thinking of going with median. You're like, but why? Where are most of our data entries? They're between 20 and 24. That's the vast majority. All but one is between 20 and 24. The mean of 23.8, yes, it's in the middle of the data as a whole, but that 23.8 is awfully close to 24. The median, though, is kind of sitting in the middle, as it's supposed to. So I would say the median is our best measure of central tendency. So the median is the measure of central tendency that best describes a typical data entry in this data set. Now, could that change from data set to data set? Sure. But for this data set, the median is the typical data entry. Okay. Hang on. Let me go hunt for mine. There it is. Okay. So that is it for this video. In the next video, we're going to get into weighted mean and the means of group data.